Why do we dream? It's a question humans have been asking for thousands of years. And even now, with all our technology and science, the answer remains elusive. Dreams are universal. No matter who you are, where you're from, or what language you speak, you've had them. They can be comforting, terrifying, or simply bizarre. And sometimes they feel so real that waking up feels like leaving another life behind. Tonight, we're going to journey deep into the world of dreams, exploring what they are, why we have them, and the strange ways they shape our waking lives. Imagine this: you close your eyes, and your awareness begins to slip. The chatter of your mind quiets, your breathing slows, and the world outside fades away. You enter sleep, a state so familiar, yet so mysterious that even the brightest minds in history have been captivated by it. Hours later, you find yourself standing on a beach made of glass, with waves that rise like mountains in slow motion. A person you haven't seen in years walks toward you. You know it's impossible for them to be here, but in that moment it feels natural. This is the strange, vivid reality of a dream, a world without rules, created entirely inside your mind. But what exactly happens in your brain when you dream? Scientists have found that dreams mostly occur during a stage of sleep called REM, rapid eye movement, when your brain becomes surprisingly active. In fact, during REM sleep, your brain activity looks a lot like it does when you're awake. Your heart rate increases, your breathing quickens, and your eyes dart beneath your eyelids as if following scenes only you can see. It's as though the mind refuses to rest completely, and instead begins to weave stories from fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination. Some scientists believe dreams are the brain's way of processing and organizing information, a kind of overnight housekeeping. Every day we take in an overwhelming amount of sensory input, and not all of it can be stored. While we sleep, the brain sorts through it, strengthening some connections and letting others fade. In this process, pieces of memory can combine in strange and unexpected ways, creating the surreal scenarios we experience as dreams. Others think dreams serve an emotional purpose. They allow us to rehearse situations, work through fears, or explore desires in a safe environment. This could explain why people often dream about stressful events, like showing up late to an exam, being chased, or speaking in front of a crowd. Your mind may be running simulations, preparing you to face similar challenges in real life. And then there's the more mysterious perspective that dreams are not just mental noise, but messages from a deeper part of ourselves. The ancient Greeks believed dreams could reveal truths hidden from our waking minds. In many indigenous traditions, dreams are sacred, offering guidance or warnings. Even today, many people feel that certain dreams carry meaning, that they can inspire, heal, or even predict the future. No matter the theory, one thing is clear: dreams are deeply personal. They reflect who we are, what we've been through, and what we hope or fear lies ahead. And that makes them worth exploring, even if we never fully solve their mystery. As you drift deeper into sleep, your body cycles through different stages. REM sleep usually happens several times each night, in longer stretches as the hours pass. It's during these moments that the wildest, most vivid dreams occur. Your brain's visual centers light up, emotions run high, and logic takes a back seat. This is why you can breathe underwater, fly through the air, or speak to animals without questioning it. In dreams, the impossible feels ordinary, and that freedom can be both exhilarating and unsettling. But dreams aren't always fantastical. Sometimes they're painfully real. Reliving a conversation, revisiting a place, or encountering someone from your past. These dreams can be comforting, like meeting a loved one you've lost, or haunting, like replaying a mistake you wish you could change. They remind us that dreams are more than random images. They are emotional landscapes shaped by our deepest experiences. Some researchers have even suggested that dreams may help with problem solving. History is full of stories about great ideas arriving in dreams. The scientist Friedrich Kekulé seeing the shape of the benzene molecule, the musician Paul McCartney hearing the melody for Yesterday, the novelist Mary Shelley imagining the story of Frankenstein. It's as if, when freed from the rigid rules of waking thought, the mind is able to make connections it could never reach during the day. Of course, not all dreams are pleasant or productive. Nightmares, intense, disturbing dreams, can leave us shaken long after we wake. They're especially common in times of stress or after traumatic events. While unpleasant, nightmares may still serve a purpose. They might be the brain's way of confronting and processing fear. For some, recurring nightmares can even offer clues to unresolved emotions or issues. And then there's a rare and fascinating phenomenon, lucid dreaming. This is when you become aware that you're dreaming, and sometimes you can even control the dream's direction. Imagine realizing mid-dream that nothing around you is real, and then choosing to fly, change the scenery, or talk to characters in your dream world. For some, lucid dreaming is pure adventure. For others, it's a tool for creativity or self-discovery. Scientists are still studying how and why it happens, but one theory is that it's a blend of waking awareness and dream state, a unique overlap in consciousness that in the end, whether they are beautiful, strange, terrifying, or enlightening, dreams are a reminder of how complex and creative our minds truly are. Every night, without any effort on our part, we create worlds as vivid as any story or film. And perhaps that is why dreams continue to fascinate us, because they are proof that we are more than we know, and that even in sleep, our minds never stop exploring. But if dreams are such a vital part of our lives, why do we forget most of them? You might wake up with a clear image or story in your mind, only to watch it dissolve within seconds. Scientists believe this is partly because the brain's chemical state changes dramatically between REM sleep and waking. Levels of neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, which help store memories, drop during REM. That means the brain isn't focused on recording dreams the way it records waking events. Unless a dream is especially vivid, emotional, or interrupted by waking up mid-REM, it can slip away like smoke. Still, some people train themselves to remember dreams more clearly. Keeping a dream journal, writing down anything you recall as soon as you wake up, can help strengthen your ability to remember them over time. The more attention you give to your dreams, the more your brain treats them as important, making it easier to hold on to them. This brings us to an even stranger phenomenon: recurring dreams. Many people report dreaming the same scene, place, or event over and over again, sometimes for years. These dreams might involve being chased, falling, showing up unprepared for something important, or searching for a lost object. Psychologists suggest that recurring dreams often point to unresolved emotions or ongoing life challenges. They may persist until the underlying issue is addressed, though sometimes they simply become part of a dreamer's personal mythology. Dreams can also reveal how closely our minds and bodies are connected. Physical sensations can shape dream content. A loud sound in the real world might appear as a thunderclap in your dream, or a blanket slipping off might translate into a dream about being cold. Our brains are constantly blending internal and external information, weaving it seamlessly into the dream narrative. But not all dreams feel random or personal. Across cultures and history, many people have described having shared dream symbols, images or scenarios that appear over and over again in different people's dreams. Flying, being chased, losing teeth, or finding hidden rooms are just a few examples. Carl Jung called these archetypes, universal symbols drawn from the collective unconscious. They suggest that dreams tap into something deeper than individual experience, connecting us to patterns of thought and imagery shared by all humans. And then there's the phenomenon of precognitive dreams, dreams that seem to predict the future. While science remains skeptical, there are countless anecdotal stories of people dreaming about events before they happen. Sometimes these can be explained by coincidence or the brain's ability to piece together subtle clues. Other times, they remain unexplained, adding to the mystery that surrounds dreaming. Of course, not all dreams are filled with meaning or mystery. Sometimes they're simply strange, the result of random neural firing or the brain stitching together unrelated thoughts. You might dream about a conversation with your childhood teacher while riding a giant fish through space. And there's no hidden symbolism, just the wild creativity of the sleeping mind. Yet even in their most nonsensical moments, dreams remind us of something important. Our minds are not limited to logic and order. Beneath the surface of our waking thoughts lies a vast and unpredictable ocean of imagination. And every night we dive in. In the scientific world, researchers continue to explore the mechanics of dreaming. Using tools like fMRI scans, they can watch which areas of the brain light up during REM sleep. The visual cortex becomes highly active, explaining the vivid imagery of dreams. The amygdala, linked to emotion, also shows strong activation, which might be why dreams often carry intense feelings. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and decision-making, quiets down, allowing dreams to break free from the constraints of reality. One intriguing finding is that the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, works differently during sleep. It appears to replay fragments of recent experiences, mixing them with older memories in surprising ways. This might be why you dream about being in your old school while talking to someone you met last week. Dreams blend timelines, places, and people into new combinations, creating scenarios that could never happen in waking life. But here's the fascinating part. Even though the logic of dreams is often nonsensical, the emotional truth can feel very real. A dream about failing an exam might not be about exams at all. It could reflect anxiety about being unprepared for something in your life. A dream about flying could symbolize freedom or escape. While not every dream has meaning, the ones that do can offer insight into our emotions and desires. Some therapists even use dreams in their work, encouraging clients to explore dream imagery as a way to understand themselves better. By reflecting on the feelings and themes in a dream, people can uncover patterns they might not notice in their waking life. It's not about literal interpretation, but about using the dream as a mirror for the subconscious mind. Still, science is careful not to overstate what we know. Dreams remain one of the most mysterious functions of the brain, and every theory, from memory processing to emotional rehearsal, captures only part of the picture. The truth may be a combination of many factors, or something we haven't yet discovered. And perhaps that's what makes dreams so captivating. They exist in the borderland between fact and mystery, science and art, logic and imagination. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, stepping into a dream will always feel like entering a place beyond our control. A place that belongs entirely to us, yet remains forever out of reach. There's also an extraordinary corner of dreaming science that has captured imaginations worldwide. Lucid dreaming. This is the rare state in which you become aware you're dreaming and, in some cases, can control what happens next. For lucid dreamers, the dream world becomes a kind of sandbox, where they can fly across oceans, walk through ancient cities, or have conversations with people from their past. Some even use lucid dreaming for problem solving, creativity, or practicing skills. Researchers studying lucid dreams have found that they often occur when the brain's prefrontal cortex, usually quiet during REM sleep, becomes partially active. That extra spark of awareness is enough to trigger the realization: this is a dream. From there, the dreamer can experiment, shaping the environment or simply exploring. Lucid dreaming has been linked to increased creativity, improved emotional resilience, and even a sense of spiritual insight. But it's not just about control. For many, the beauty lies in the clarity and vividness of the experience, as though the dream world has shifted into high definition. Some people naturally experience lucid dreams, while others learn techniques to induce them, such as reality checks during the day, keeping dream journals, or using specific sleep patterns to increase the chances. Yet whether a dream is lucid or not, it still follows the mind's mysterious internal rules. A moment of joy can turn into fear without warning. A familiar face can belong to a stranger. And sometimes, the dream simply fades away mid-story, leaving you wondering what would have happened next. The strangeness of dreams also extends to the way they distort time. You might dream what feels like hours of adventure, only to wake and realize just minutes have passed. Or you might dream of a single frozen moment, stretched out into a vast landscape of detail. Science suggests that dream time roughly matches real time in many cases. But the brain's flexible perception of time means anything is possible once you're asleep. And then there are nightmares, the shadow side of dreaming. Nightmares are more than just bad dreams. They're often vivid, emotionally intense, and can linger long after waking. They can be triggered by stress, trauma, illness, or even certain medications. While unpleasant, nightmares may serve a purpose, giving the brain a safe space to rehearse responses to threats or to work through difficult emotions. Some people experience recurring nightmares that feel inescapable. But there's evidence that techniques like imagery rehearsal therapy, where you rewrite the nightmare's ending while awake, can help reduce their frequency and intensity. This is yet another reminder of how intertwined our waking and dreaming lives are, and how one can influence the other. Throughout history, cultures across the world have tried to decode the meaning of dreams. The ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods, visions sent from the divine realm to guide or warn the dreamer. They even had specialized interpreters whose task was to listen to dreams and translate them into prophecies or advice. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Aristotle considered dreams to be the mind's way of processing sensory impressions left over from the day. Meanwhile, in China, dream interpretation was woven into medicine, with the belief that dreams could reveal imbalances in the body or soul. Across indigenous traditions, dreams were often seen as sacred journeys, chances for the spirit to travel and gather wisdom from ancestors or the natural world. Modern psychology added new perspectives. Sigmund Freud famously called dreams the royal road to the unconscious, believing they were disguised expressions of our deepest desires and fears. Carl Jung saw them as more than personal. He believed dreams tapped into universal symbols shared by all humanity. Today, neuroscience offers its own explanations: REM sleep patterns, memory replay, and the weaving together of sensory fragments into narratives. Yet even with all this research, dreams remain slippery. Are they therapy sessions for the mind, a form of mental housekeeping, or something else entirely. Perhaps they are all these things, and perhaps that's why they remain so compelling. Every human dreams, every culture tells stories about them, and every person wakes at some point with the feeling that their dream meant something, even if they can't quite say what. Every night, as we close our eyes, we step into a universe entirely our own. A place where the impossible becomes ordinary, where time bends and rules break, where we can meet the past, explore the future, or simply wander in landscapes born from the deepest corners of our minds. And when we wake, those worlds dissolve, but they leave traces. A feeling, a thought, an image that lingers just long enough to remind us that there is more to the mind than we can ever truly grasp. Dreams are a bridge between the conscious and unconscious, between the seen and unseen. They are proof that even in our most vulnerable state, our minds are creating, exploring, and searching for meaning. Perhaps that is why we are so drawn to them, because they whisper to us that reality is not as fixed as it seems, and that within us lies an infinity we have only just begun to explore. So tonight, when you close your eyes and drift into that mysterious realm, remember, you are not simply sleeping. You are traveling, learning, healing. You are stepping into a story that only you can tell. And if you want to keep exploring these hidden worlds, the science, the mysteries, the untold secrets of the mind, then make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us next time. Because this journey into the sleeping mind has only just begun.